You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 78. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
I'm Jeff Barnard, his happy-go-lucky sidekick.
Yay! So, Jeff, last week we didn't record, but Captain America, the Winter Soldier came out.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a good film. Pardon if there's any spoilers. The only thing I don't like about it is that it destroys S.H.I.E.L.D. already. You know, we just got to learn about and love S.H.I.E.L.D. and now it's gone. And they do this a lot. Also, I watched the new Wolverine. It's kind of, and I don't know why I don't like Wolverine movies. I like Wolverine. It's just, I just don't care.
I mean, I didn't go see that. I just didn't care. So
yeah, it's well done. It's not bad, but when movies do that, and they did it with the last Three Musketeers. The Musketeers have been disbanded, and it's a little bit too big or something. They don't want to make it really wowzer. Let's really wow out the audience, but I think it was too much.
Yeah, but I think it'll be cool for, say, Avengers 2, like, oh, if S.H.I.E.L.D's out of the picture, they don't have any, this larger organization as backup. They're on their own, which could be more interesting.
Yeah, they didn't really. Yeah, I mean, they really didn't use S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Avengers.
Well, S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of they facilitated them coming together. Right. And now, especially because they're adding these other characters, they're going to have the Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver. I think eliminating S.H.I.E.L.D. from the picture makes sense to keep the movie, less crowded.
Okay.
But as far as Captain America 2 goes, wow, it's like a 70s. Political spy thriller first, and then the Captain America movie.
Someone said it's like 3 Days of Condor,
or like the Parallax View, or something like that. Like, it's really good.
Not bad, and it holds up on its own. That is my only quibble about it was that. And I thought Robert Redford did a good job. I thought all the actors did a good job, and there was. I think the characters they didn't go against their character.
No.
Captain America acted like Captain America, and Nick Fury acted like Nick Fury, and that's important. I don't if you're not going to do that, then name something else.
Well, right, and when that movie was announced and they were like, hey, we're going to have the Falcon, I was so worried that he would be portrayed all like wisecracky Will Smith type. And I'm so glad they didn't do that. Howard Mackie did a great job.
But but he was an everyman, so
he was good.
Yeah, and you could he was a good sidekick as he wasn't annoying.
Right. Yeah. Because in the comics, the Falcon he wasn't so much a sidekick but a partner.
Right.
And he was yes, he was Captain America's sidekick, but Cap treated him on equal footing. They figured stuff out together and stuff. So I enjoyed that a lot. Hail Hydra!
That shocked me. That stunned me when Gary Shandling said that.
Hail Hydra. And he's Senator Stearns because you've seen him in the Iron Man movies and stuff. I think it's Stearns, but
I like him and I like his character. I mean, I like the actor. He had a great show, Gary Shandling's show.
Oh, it's Gary Shandling's show. Yeah, that was a fun show. I never saw the Larry Sanders show.
Neither did I. I hear it's great. I saw one episode. It looked good, but dang good. It's pretty interesting and well done. That character of the Falcon could have been really stupid, and they did a good job. I was worried, and he's a Falcon, because I didn't even see that coming. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I forgot that he was going to be in it.
Oh, so, that's good.
Then, I like
that's a great place to be. Like, oh, I forgot, and
And for the listening audience, I like to go to a movie without knowing anything about it. That's my goal, but of course you're going to know stuff about it because you read, and I like watching previews.
Yeah.
But I like being surprised in a movie.
Yeah, and this movie had some surprises. It was good. I love the inclusion of Batroc the Leaper.
Yes, and
that was a great fight with them too.
Yeah, and the Winter Soldier was although I'm not a big Bucky fan, never have been.
Okay.
It was interesting though. And
yeah. Part of me was thinking, like, shouldn't the focus of the plot been the relationship with Cap and Bucky, and that plot line be a bit beefier, especially because it's the title of the picture. But I feel like if they focus on that rather than this great thriller thing that they did with it, I think it would have been a lesser film. It would have been like Iron Man 2, kind of, like it's fine, but not, a great picture. And I think this was just really, really great. I mean, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, they did make a mistake. They said that Bucky was only one of the Howling Commandos to die, but Junior died.
Right, but see, this is the movieverse changes a lot of stuff. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Nick Fury didn't lead the Howling Commandos. Captain America did, and I recently went back and watched the first Captain America movie, and it was great to see Dum Dum Dugan and Gabriel and whatever the French guy's name is, and
I can't think of the French guy who was in it.
I thought he was a French guy, yeah. But,
there's an English guy.
Maybe that's what it is. He wears like a beret or something.
Yeah,
he's got that pencil-thin mustache. Okay.
I can't think of his name.
Not that important.
Pillberry or something.
Yeah, but
he had an umbrella.
Oh my
gosh! He wore
gosh!
an umbrella and he fenced with it.
But I loved Dum Dum with the handlebar mustache and the bowler, and I thought they did that really well in the first movie.
And it's kind of neat seeing the exhibit in the, I guess it was Air and Space Museum.
Sure, or the Smithsonian or something like that, yeah.
I don't know why it made me feel like the Air and Space Museum, but that'd be wrong place for it.
Yeah, it would.
Okay.
But it was a cool. I liked the movie. I loved the review with Arnim Zola, where he was like inside the computer.
Yes.
And I love that you saw it like those old school computer monitors rise up, and it reminded me of his comic book origins, where he's got the robot body with the screen on his chest and the security cam head. That was a wonderful homage to that, and it was really great. I enjoyed it a lot. So, what about the post-credits scenes?
Oh,
with Baron Strucker?
Yeah, that was interesting. What was the very last thing? I forgot what it was.
Well, the very last thing was Bucky going to the museum and seeing stuff. So I guess we know where the third movie will be going, but a fully revealed Hydra being a part of Avengers 3, I think, will be cool, or Avengers 2, excuse me. I think that's kind of cool. The Avengers versus Hydra, and then Ultron's coming into the picture. Like, I don't know. I think that could be cool.
I
hope it's not too much.
I don't want too many villains. That's, right. Because I want to learn about one villain. It's
right.
As the later Batmans did that.
Yeah.
The bad years.
Right. but the thing is, if they have Hydra as the adversary in the first act, and Ultron is coming into being, and then becomes the greater foe, I think that could work.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's cool. Oh, let's see. I won't spoil Wolverine. There was some cool stuff about it, but I just don't give a dang. I have a problem with a lot of angst for superheroes. You got a superpower. Don't have this angst.
Right.
I mean, angst is for kids who can't get girls.
Right. I mean, I get it with Wolverine because he's got this like lost past that he doesn't know about and stuff.
Yeah, but it's too much of that, and I don't know.
It's like, don't you think if he lives so long, wouldn't you just kind of get over it and move on, move forward like an adult? He's got superpowers, and he's this really cut guy. You know what? Girls will solve all of your emotional problems. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's so cut. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's worth watching. I enjoyed it. I don't know, something. The first and the second one, I don't know what I don't like about it, but it wasn't.
Are you talking about X-Men Origins, Wolverine, and then The Wolverine?
Yeah.
Yeah, X-Men Origins, I didn't think it was a very good movie.
Yeah.
And then I haven't seen The Wolverine.
Yeah.
So
maybe he goes to Japan.
Yeah. He fights the Silver Samurai, though, right?
Adamantine Samurai.
Oh, that's cool.
That's huge. Yeah, I was thinking, I don't know, I was like, oh, come on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Starts off with the Nagasaki bombing, and that was kind of a cool scene.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. And what they did with the villain was kind of, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll have to see it. But let's talk about some comics.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, Goblin and the Gangsters.
That's right. Marvel Tales number 18. The lead story reprinted from Amazing Spider-Man number 23. And yes, it's The Goblin and the Gangsters, written by Stan Lee, with art by Sturdy Steve Ditko.
The Goblin is Marvel's version of the Joker, right?
Yeah, kinda.
And he's always happy. Yay, I'm killing something.
Yeah, but it's different. They do different things with him because they got Norman Osborn, who it's not revealed yet, but that's who it is. He's got this schizophrenic dual personality thing going on, and so yes, it's kind of like the Joker, and no, but it works. You know, I can see there are definitely parallels. So
I just wonder, we need a Joker. Okay, well, let's make him the Goblin. Hat with a jack-o'-lantern and all that.
Yeah, I like the pumpkin bombs and the goblin glider and stuff, and it's fun.
All right, well, there's gangsters in this. Big surprise at the top of that. Goblin wants to take over gangsters and
organized crime,
City, right?
Yeah. That's the beauty of Marvel Comics. No made-up cities. You know, because if you live in New York or you live on the East Coast, you're like, wow, Spider-Man swinging across the Empire State University or whatever, you know, or like as opposed to Central City or Star City or Coast City, Metropolis, or Gotham, you know.
Although I can see both sides, and I'm glad there's both ways.
Right.
Because with a made-up city, you can do whatever you want to with it. So you want to put a mile-high skyscraper in there, yeah, you can do it. And there's no mile-high skyscraper in New York City,
right?
But you can be one in Gotham,
right? And Gotham and Metropolis are kind of both sides of like they're kind of supposed to be New York. Yeah. Metropolis being the best of New York, and Gotham being the worst of New York. And even New York is nicknamed Gotham, and that has been since before DC Comics, I think. I'm not sure about that one, but yeah. So yeah, the Green Goblin, he wants to take over organized crime in New York, and what's going on?
Well, he's threatening the gangs, and man, gangsters are always super ugly.
Yeah, well, they gotta be.
No, they don't. It'd be interesting
for a comic, though.
It'd be interesting to see if they're really handsome and good looking, and then that'd be that'd be an interesting change of pace, I think.
Sure.
Well, but the gangsters don't like Goblin, so he's thought of a plan to get them all together. But Peter Parker just washed his Spider-Man costume and it's drying in the attic.
Right.
I wrote at the time, doesn't he have a spare? And yes, he does, but J. Jonah Jameson has it.
That's right.
Not the next issue.
Right.
What's this goober's name? Fred Foswell.
Oh yeah, Frederick Foswell. He was the big man. He was a crime boss, or a would-be crime boss, in earlier issues of Spider-Man. And he went to prison, and he got out, and Jameson gave him his old job back at the Bugle. And Peter suspects that that Foswell might be the crime master.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh
yeah, the crime master's in this.
Betty gets a letter from Ned Leeds, and who was an old flame, and Peter knows him as a friend, but Betty forgets to tell Peter about the letter, and Peter's getting jealous.
Right. And Betty would actually go on to marry Ned Leeds.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's later.
Well, we see Fred is with Gabi, and Peter. Man, yeah, he's.
Oh, Foswell. Frederick Foswell is meeting with the Green Goblin. That's right.
I just call him Gabi.
That's fine.
That's what I.
When you said Fred, I just wanted to clarify. So
yeah, I know Frederick Foswell. Yeah, he's always happy. Yeah, I get this letter.
He's getting information, I think, because
Income Tax Bureau, so you get all their monies.
Right.
So,
now I don't know if Boswell is helping the Goblin to kind of like set up so that he can be caught, or to like undermine the gangs or something like that. I don't know.
we find out that he's trying to take over too. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, let's see. Goblin lures Spider-Man around to get him to go fight the gangsters.
Yeah.
And it works. Goblin comes in. Because Goblin, it looks like he's attacking the gangsters. And, oh, what, is he turned dead? Or what's going on? So, Spidey follows him into this, where he's fighting these gangsters. And then smoke comes up. And then the smoke dissipates. And there's gangsters and Spider-Man. But no goblins.
Yeah.
So Spidey's in an epic battle. It's pretty cool.
Now, this is like is this the fight where that goes on for like 5 pages?
1, 2, 3, about 3 pages.
Oh, okay. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different issue, but
no, 4, yeah.
Yep, this is the one. Yeah, they're on like that observation deck or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is great.
And then it starts another fight when he catches the Goblin. Or no, he doesn't catch him, but he almost does.
Right, he's in pursuit of the Green Goblin,
mm-hmm.
who would quite cleverly set this whole thing up.
He uses Spider-Man's webs against him, which I had never seen before.
How does he use his web against him?
He grabs hold of the ends, and then let's see, he traps him with it.
Oh yeah,
that's kind of
so
cool.
he kind of grabs the web line and kind of wraps Spidey up in it.
Mm-hmm.
What a revolting development!
Right. Yeah, Spider-Man messes up quite a bit. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but Goblin was too good because he wanted the boss taken out by the police, but the police come and they got the whole gang, so he can't get any money at all because he want to take over the gang, but if everybody's in jail, you have nothing.
Right. So the Goblin is foiled by this.
Mm-hmm.
And
we have the Betty and Peter thing.
Oh yeah, the triangle with Ned Leeds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with that exactly?
Oh, Peter's is angry that she hadn't told him about the letter.
Right.
Because she instantly forgot. So, that's it.
Yeah, there's some funny stuff with Jameson in this issue too, but...
Yeah. So now Peter is really kind of concerned and worried. That's the average Spider-Man ending. Peter worried about something.
So moving on, the next story in this issue is The Cobra and Mr. Hyde, reprinted from Journey into Mystery number 105, written by Stan Lee, with art by Jack Kirby, and inks by Chick Stone, and it's a nice Thor story. I told you a while back when we were introduced to the Cobra and Mr. Hyde that they teamed up as a great supervillainous duo, and here they are. And this story opens up with Thor hanging out with the Avengers, so we get a great shot of
they're together, then they leave.
Yeah, but we get to see Captain America, Iron Man, and Giant Man and the Wasp, and yay!
Yeah, Thor senses danger, so does he have a spidey sense or something?
No, but maybe he's got like picking up mystical emanations or something, or like it's magic, and I don't know.
Yeah, he sees the Cobra, and they're fighting like crazy.
Yeah.
And the Cobra runs into... What's that guy's name?
Calvin Zabo.
Yeah. And so he hears Cobra coming in, so he turns into Mr. Hyde, and they fight a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they say, hey, you're almost like, I want to fight Thor. You can leave me alone. You want to fight Thor? I want to fight Thor, too. Let's get together. Yay.
Yeah.
Buddies.
It's interesting because, of course, later they would double cross each other, but they
always do.
I know, but and their partnership would dissolve. But for a while, they were quite the supervillainous duo, and it makes sense because Cobra is just not powerful enough to go toe to toe with Thor, and really neither is Mr. Hyde, but he's strong enough to kind of fight him in a fist fight. So. They're pretty formidable, and they're kind of cool. They're both jerks.
And they're both scientists.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
He's got some kind of a complicated machine.
Okay.
Oh, and let's see. Dr. Blake and Jane are. Oh, I love Dr. Blake, but he will never. Doesn't look like he loves me. I cannot love Jane because I'm Thor as well, and she doesn't like me or something.
Well, and he's like worried that because he's got a bum leg and he's kind of frail, like that she won't want him and that kind of stuff. So he thinks she could only love Thor, but he's thinking, well, as Thor, I can't be with her.
Okay.
So.
All right. So Mr. Hyde has invented his way back machine.
Oh, right.
All right. Which would be really interesting if you lost your keys or something.
Yeah.
I have a picture of you, and then about 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Where you went from there.
Yeah.
Back in time, and they see Thor, and he goes back into his office, and then he disappears.
Oh, so this is how they're able to track down Thor.
Right.
So the Cobra and Mr. Hyde show up at Don Blake's office, and of course he's a civilian. And do they grab Jane and stuff?
Yeah, of course they do.
But
and of course he locks his stick into the closet.
Yeah, and he tricks them into turning around so he can transform into Thor or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of goofball, but I always love Thor ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, and Mr. Hyde plays pretty rough with Blake, and it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Hyde's a nasty one.
Yeah. But then once he becomes Thor, and then the fight is on with these two jokers.
A nice long fight, too.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's beating up Hyde and Cobra, and they run into this industrial machine show, which I never heard of before.
Sure.
But I would love to go to one. Because this one has an atomic-powered hydraulic hoist.
Oh, wow.
And it can pick up the hammer.
Yeah, that's weird because no one is supposed to be able to touch it unless you are or be able to pick it up unless you were worthy.
Powered.
Right, but also it's not a person trying to lift it, and it has. Right. I mean, Uru is a metal, so okay, maybe. You don't see much of this kind of thing, and I'm sure they kind of quietly to not reference this.
No, this never happened. This is an imaginary episode,
right?
Or something.
Except stuff that obviously clearly has consequences later happens in this.
That's really really cool.
Because it's the story where Hyde and Cobra get together. So, but yeah, I think only Captain America and a couple other people are been worthy enough to lift Thor's hammer.
Really, Captain America?
Yeah. It's not strength because the Hulk can't lift it.
Oh yeah.
It's your inner goodness and awesome. If there was a crossover, Superman could lift it. In fact, I think he has, and so could Captain Marvel. That purity of heart and goodness and nobility.
So it had to be a Galahad type.
You do.
That's interesting.
So yeah, you want to take a little break? Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes. And we're back.
It didn't take long.
Nope. And so the next story we've got to talk about is reprinted from Strange Tales number 115, and it's The Sandman Strikes, written by Stan Lee, with art by Dick Ayers.
Hot ziggity, says the Torch.
Yeah, another Human Torch story. Here we go.
Yeah, it's got the Sandman, one of my favorite villains.
Yeah, so
it's a roughneck guy, but not cool. I don't know. I don't know if I want his superpower of sand. But,
no.
But it's impressive, but it's
it sounds like it would be the most inconvenient superpower of one of them. This story is a little more above average because it has just a better villain, the Sandman.
Yeah.
So we start out, Johnny is hanging out in Reed's lab.
No, he's called to Reed's lab.
Okay.
And Fang and Sue are off somewhere, and Reed is busy with his experiments.
Right.
So he's got to take care of the Sandman.
Oh yeah, because he's about to bust out of jail or something.
Yeah. And we see a little story that Spidey fights Sandman and defeats him with a high-powered vacuum cleaner.
Any villain that you can beat with a vacuum cleaner is not really a villain. Here's the thing. As soon as he got sucked into the vacuum cleaner, couldn't he just break out of it? He does have super strength.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, we get a flashback of his previous battle with Spidey.
Maybe it's an atomic power.
Oh, you're just going to use that as the excuse for anything. Oh, but it's atomic. Well, okay.
Yeah.
But maybe while it's turned on, he can't pull himself together to, like, bust out. Mm-hmm. You know, the power of the vacuum. I don't know. So, anyway.
So,
Torch is trying to find the Sandman.
Right.
And he does.
And Torch wants... Sandman wants to fight Spidey. And that's it. And
yeah.
So he says, get away, loser.
Right.
And he goes in the water, and of course, Torch is useless in the water.
Right.
But no, he does. He looks like he jumps in the water, but he actually sticks to the bottom of this bridge.
Right.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so he throws the torch off. The torch decides, okay, I'm going to dress as Spider-Man and go on a radio and TV broadcast to, like, taunt the Sandman into coming out of hiding.
Yeah, wouldn't that'd be kind of insulting to Spider-Man?
Yeah,
but we got this stupid
new?
rivalry. I don't know.
I kind of like their rivalry. It's fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fun, but I don't know, the raison d'etre or the reasons for them being angry at each other could be done better. It seems forced. You know.
Okay. I mean, I just think it's an interesting kind of thing. Like, they got off on the right foot, but then they grow to become friends over time.
Right.
So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so...
So the Torch's ruse pays off. He lures the Sandman out of fighting, Torch ditches the Spidey costume, and commences to do battle with the Sandman.
And here we have a very big weakness for the Torch: sprinkler systems.
Yeah.
And Sandman.
And also, the Sandman could smother his flame too with the sand. So yeah,
he's got a very good. He's got a low animal cunning.
Yeah.
Sandman does. But that makes him a good villain.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like a super bright guy, but he does know how to use his powers quite well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So traps him in here, and then finds out the water messes up his Sandman too.
Yeah, it just makes him a little too soggy.
Muddy.
Yeah.
Mudman. No one's afraid of Mudman.
All right, you just go get rid of him with the hose, you know.
Yeah.
So
Torch doesn't have any. The water blows him up, but he uses judo to fight Sandman, who is not Sandy anymore. So,
right.
And that's how he wins. Yeah, judo.
Yeah, a little weak. And then Spidey actually shows up in the last panel. He had finally, untangled himself from whatever kept him from coming after the Sandman in the first place, and the Torch had taken care of it.
Yeah.
All wrapped up.
And sooner or later, Spider-Man says, this town will be too small for the Torch and me.
Oh boy.
Dun, dun, dun.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But do you want to talk about that house ad that you're admiring?
Oh, there's a Submariner ad. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. We got one of those.
The Spell of the Serpent.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I like the, I don't know, I like the Kingly villains, Doctor Doom and
Submariner.
Who else?
I'm trying to think who else is like a king. Well,
I guess the head of Hydra is like the king or something.
Kind of. I mean, or guys that rule a planet, like Darkseid.
Kingpin. They have a job. They have a job and they're supervillains at the same time.
Yeah.
They have a job ruling people.
Yeah, the Kingpin is he is like the supreme crime lord, so I can dig that. Yeah. So yeah, what I like about some of these Human Torch solo stories is they're planting the seeds for the Frightful Four. Getting Sandman and Pastepot Pete and the Wizard kind of slowly together, and then they'll grab Medusa and get going with that. So that's interesting. But our next book we've got is Marvel Tales number 21, and it reprints the lead story is a reprint from Amazing Spider-Man number 26, and the story is The Man in the Crime Master's Mask, written by Stan Lee with art by Steve Ditko. So as there's a couple of issue gap here, but there's kind of this saga going on. The Crime Master and the Green Goblin are rivals, and they both want to take over the criminal underworld.
Yeah, great splash page. Spider-Man is sitting on a big question mark with little question marks around his head.
Right.
And saying, what's going on? It's a big puzzle.
Right. And then the other three figures we see on this splash page are the Crime Master, Frederick Foswell, and the Green Goblin. And I think Spider-Man is wondering, what's Foswell's involvement? Is he the Green Goblin? Is he the Crime Master? We knew he was the big man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's reinvented himself as the Crime Master. So.
Yep. Okay. We open our story with Spider-Man loses his suit.
This is a problem.
Yeah. You know, I've read this before. We haven't done this on the show.
We haven't done this one on the show, no.
It might have been on the greatest hits of Spider-Man or something.
Some trade paperback that you read.
Or maybe I read it when I was a wee lad.
It's possible.
So, alright, we have, Aunt May finds a spider suit, hides it somewhere, and Petey's all worried. So the Goblin and the Crime Master is trying to get together. Is it the Crime Master? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the Crime Master's kind of like an evil Green Hornet. He's got this gas gun and stuff. So
kind of cool. So
he's a very typical Steve Ditko character, villain with a mask and a hat and a suit. You know, how many? It's like, okay, it's the Question. It's Mr. A. It's you know, all of those guys. So.
That could be Aunt May or something, you know. And that's a problem with mysteries of any sort. Is in a book or a movie or whatever, it can only be somebody you know, and you know, in the movie. And
right.
So in real life, who killed Cock Robin could have been
a complete stranger. Yeah, it could have been anybody. But of course, in a movie or a book, you know, it's some character that's been here. Otherwise, there's no dramatic tension. It's so I get it.
Yeah. But they really ought to make Aunt May the villain. That'd be great. Oh. So the Crime Master's trying to take over the gangsters. Let's see. And he fires the Goblin. Okay, so he leaves a note to the gangsters and leader, and then calls him in the morning and then blows up his car. Yeah,
and the thing, the Crime Master's tactics are all like terrorist in the way he operates, and he wins no allies this way. And I think that's how the story ultimately plays out. It's just like, no, the criminals decide to side with the Goblin and turn against the Crime Master. Spoiler.
Hey, you blew up my car. I'm
yeah.
gonna trust you. So Betty's mad at Peter because she goes to his house and meets Jane Watson, who Peter has not seen yet.
Right. Mary Jane Watson. And we're still planting that seed.
That's well done, by the way.
Oh, it's great. There's so many subplots that like they just kind of tease for a long time in the book, and then you get the payoff, and it's really good.
Yeah. Well,
it's like it's like quality television.
And Peter says, "I never even saw her." And oh no, well, says Betty, "You ought to open up your eyes, Casanova. She's very hard to miss seeing." Although nothing's wrong with Betty.
No, Betty's a doll, but she's got stuff. She wants a guy who's gonna live a quiet, danger-free lifestyle, and this is kind of one of her things that's pushing or deciding her to pull away from Peter because he's a risk taker. He's going and getting all these photos of Spider-Man, and she's afraid of that because she lost her brother Bennett. He was killed by I think Doc Ock, or something to do with Doc Ock, and so she's distrustful of Spider-Man, and she just wants that quiet life. So
yeah, she picked the wrong boyfriend.
Yeah.
So
it's sad though because under different circumstances that Peter and Betty would be great. They really would, and that's a theme that's been revisited later in the 70s. Betty left Ned Leeds and wanted to kind of get back together with Peter, and well, he's like you're a married woman, so.
Right.
But yeah.
So, so they just had this argument. Peter leaves gets kicked out by J. Jonah Jameson. And then
as he does.
Yeah. and he meets with what? Oh, Flash Thompson, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh god! And they actually get into a fight. And you see Liz.
Oh yeah, Liz Allen's there too.
Yeah, there's a great little photo, a panel with Flash and Peter and Liz right in front of them, and Liz is wearing this orange shirt with circles on it, and so
the panel just looks like you just their faces, and you see them kind of all mad and arguing
over this orange background.
Right, and this is a very Ditko panel. It's just the kind of thing he does a lot. And when he has people yelling or arguing, that there's certain expressions that you always see. They're like, ah, yes, there's Steve Ditko.
Well, we get a nice little story, which made my heart sing.
Oh.
So the principal, they actually were stupid enough to fight in front of the principal's window.
Right.
Duh. But so the principal calls in Peter.
Yeah.
And well, because Peter is a nice guy, so he's gonna get blamed for it because he is not expect him to behave better.
Right.
So and the principal talks to him. Flash Thompson's standing out there and notices that Peter is taking the blame.
Right.
And Flash says, "Wow, that's pretty stand up."
Yeah.
So Flash goes and says, "I'm the one who started this."
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
And I like the growth that we see in Flash Thompson. He's growing up. He's moving away from being a bully, and things would really change when he went to Vietnam too. Mm-hmm. So when he came back from Vietnam, he and Peter were regular pals.
Right.
So yeah.
All right. So
that is a great subplot. I like that.
Mm-hmm. So what Peter does is he buys a Spider-Man costume. And it's cheap because no one wants to be Spider-Man anymore.
And it doesn't really fit very well. He has to use webbing to kind of like tighten it up to keep the pants from coming unloose from the boots or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is hilarious.
Indeed. Yeah, it was I have read this. So I remember that. So
the Goblin and the Crime Master are up to stuff.
Yeah, the crime and Spidey goes into the Crime Master's apartment.
Yeah.
And the Crime Master's outside, so he starts shooting them. So, and then they get into a fight. And I do like it when Spider-Man makes mistakes. He aims at him, but then he hits some piece of metal and it doesn't work. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's one of the things that really drew a lot of people to Marvel Comics in the early 60s. Like, whoa, this is different. It's not like the infallible Batman or Superman, as great and as fun to read as they are. But superheroes that blow it and have problems, this is relatable, and I think it was the right thing at the right time. People just really gravitated towards it. So,
all right. So, let's see. We get some more stuff going on. Let's see. There's going to be a big meeting of the gangsters and this guy named Patch. Who has an eye patch?
Yeah, big surprise there. Yeah. So it's not just a clever name.
Right.
He's not just trying to quit smoking, right?
Yeah, Gabi and the Crime Master fights.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty good fight. Not bad.
I'm surprised at how well the Crime Master holds his own, because he's, doesn't have like all the equipment and stuff that the Goblin does. Crime Master basically has his gas gun and his wits, and the Goblin's got all these stuff: razor bats, pumpkin bombs. He flies around on the thing.
The Crime Master knows who the Goblin is.
Yeah,
he's got it so if he gets killed, the Goblin's his secret identity will be known.
Yeah, and what a dumb mistake that the Goblin made in forging that alliance. He wouldn't make it again.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the guy found out who he was.
I don't know.
Did he tell them? Oh, by the way, I'm Osborn.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's like at this point we don't know that's Norman Osborn. So it's very interesting. The Goblin knows who the Crime Master is, right? Or no?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember, but it's quite interesting. So the Goblin gets the drop on Spider-Man.
How does that happen? No Spidey sense.
Oh, he gassed him earlier, and it dulled his sense. Remember when he fought those guys on the observation deck previously?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get how he could just come up with something to dull the spider sense. Does he have...
I think his senses are dulled, period.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's it.
So it gave the goblin the edge, and yeah, he gets stunned with a pumpkin bomb, and the goblin's about to unmask Spidey.
But he can't because the mask was coming off earlier, so he sprayed it. So
oh, that's right. It won't come off because
if he hadn't worn this cheap knockoff Spidey suit.
That's funny. And then the Crime Master shows up, and then there's going to be a big meeting with all... Crime Master's got a big meeting with all the crime guys. Like, hey, you sign up with me, and we'll rule the underworld. But then Goblin shows up with Spider-Man under his arm. Boom!
Yeah.
And totally makes him look like nothing.
Yeah. Steals the show.
Yeah, and so, unfortunately, we don't have the issue where that plot line resolves, but...
I think Spider-Man wins.
Yeah, and it doesn't... I know it does not turn out well for the Crime Master. The Goblin comes out on top, and so is Spidey too.
I've read it, and yeah, it's an... I don't know. There's a big drama happening in front of an audience of gangsters. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, let's talk about our next story. This is great.
At the Mercy of Loki.
Yes.
Prince of Evil.
That's right. From Journey into Mystery, number 108... yes, it's At the Mercy of Loki, Prince of Evil. Written by Stan Lee, with art by Jack Kirby, and inked by Chick Stone. And Doctor Strange has a guest appearance in this story. This is really great. Kirby had really hit his stride with Thor at this point. And, yeah, this is some fun stuff. What's going on?
Thor pounds the pavement, making it warp and, and so what's going on? He doesn't say this kid who is going in front of a runaway truck.
It seems like a roundabout way to do something instead of just flying and grabbing the kid.
Right.
Let's destroy some property first.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was kind of goofy.
Yeah, but he's flying around. He saves the kid and he's flying around, and then he gets
Doctor Strange appears in his head.
Yeah, he sends him like an astral projection or a psychic something or other.
I do like Doctor Strange's pad. That is cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is cool. So what's going on? Doctor Strange wants to alert him to some danger or something, right?
No, he got attacked. He lost consciousness. So
that's right.
So they have to...
they had to operate on Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but it's not working. But I think he's using his Thor powers. And then Odin calls him, "Hear me, my son."
While Don Blake is operating on Doctor Strange.
Yeah. And doesn't Thor know he's operating? And this makes Odin mad.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it gets complicated.
Yeah, they're in some kind of war or something.
In Asgard?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's pretty cool, man. It's beautifully drawn. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
No, Jack Kirby, he's the king. So Doctor Strange is recovering from the surgery. Thanks, Don Blake.
And does he not know who he is? He's Doctor Strange.
Well, he doesn't. Just because he's the master of the mystic arts or the sorcerer supreme, that doesn't mean he knows everything. So I don't know. Either, yeah. But Loki's got some wicked scheme up his sleeve. What's going on?
What was that? I don't know. Let's see. Loki becomes a bee and escapes.
He becomes a bee and escapes Asgard? Oh, that's right.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Okay.
So, Loki switches canes with Dr. Blake.
Oh, that's right.
Clever.
And Loki's in disguise as like an old guy coming to see Dr. Blake. Throws Blake's cane out the window. So it's like,
yeah, the problem with this is that if I had a cane, okay, you buy a car, and you see every car you make all the time, instantly. Sure. And so his stick doesn't look like a regular cane.
Sure.
And if I had used a cane every day, and I saw someone with the exact same cane, I would know,
Right, right. It's not like it just has like that regular curved cane that a million people have. This is very distinct.
Right.
So that's a good point.
Yeah, well, it's a comic book.
Yeah.
Oh,
I forgot.
Yeah.
So then Loki reveals himself after he's tossed Thor's cane out the window, And so yeah, Blake can't turn into Thor. So what's he gonna do? He's face to face with Loki.
Right.
Does Loki steal Jane away?
Yep. Of course.
To where? Just somewhere.
I guess somewhere.
Okay.
So, Odin doesn't answer Thor's call.
Right.
And so
Blake is left to like, what am I gonna do? I've got to solve this problem. And
he takes the cap.
Yeah. I like how sometimes Don Blake has to be the one that really saves the day.
Mm-hmm.
Gives him that heroic aspect. But yeah, what's it going on with Doctor Strange in this story too?
He astral projects himself.
Okay.
And in the sea, he
Doctor Strange is able to use the Eye of Agamotto to find the cane. And so Blake has to beat up some bum who has found it and using it as a fishing rod. Yeah.
Yeah, he tells him, yeah. And then Doctor Strange comes out like a ghost and scares him off. And then we get Thor back.
Yeah.
That was well done.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one way to have a guest appearance. We get a flyby by some of the Avengers, Iron Man, Giant Man, and the Wasp.
And Thor says, you can't handle this. Which I thought was kind of mean.
Well, yeah, it's like, or is it that you can't handle this, or like this is Thor business? Like you can't.
It's a personal one. This is not a case for the Avengers.
Which is kind of egotistical and crap. If there's super villainy afoot, and your allies are like, "Hey, can we help?" Accept their help. You'll wrap up the case easier.
Even if you say, I want to fight Loki, period. They can come by and do crowd control or something, or if the building falls down, they can fix it or something.
There's all kinds of stuff that superheroes can do in a situation like that. If they could leave Loki to me, he could say that, and the other guys could be doing other stuff to help.
All right. So we have a nice, massive battle. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I wanted to comment on that though, because this speaks to why Odin sent Thor to Earth in the first place. As a lesson in humility. Remember?
So, yeah.
He hasn't learned his lesson yet.
Yeah.
So.
Indeed. So, yeah. So, nice big battle.
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange finds Jane, and so Loki makes a pit, and Thor falls down into it, and he can't get out.
Yeah. Loki looks super cool in this story too.
Yeah. So he knows that Thor's going to get out eventually and going to kick his ass.
Yeah.
So he's going to shoot a psychic bolt at Jane and kill her. But yay, Doctor Strange puts a
shield or something around her, mystical something or other.
Yeah, wears him out, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And Thor just tears down a bunch of trees and sends all these sharp splinters after him, and that's it. Okay, that's the end of the battle.
Yeah.
And he talks to Odin, and this is there's a mix-up. so everybody's happy.
Okay. So yeah.
Odin's still mad that he loves a mortal girl.
Right, and Loki still gets away, right? Or does
as if Odin hadn't gotten some mortal.
Right.
Girls,
exactly. It's typical of mythology. Many kings of the gods, they go and they get busy with a lot of mortal women. Zeus did it all the time.
Right.
So yeah. So we've got another story.
It's Torch, your favorite.
Yeah, not really.
You love him, you know.
Well, he's okay. But it's the story is The Torch Goes Wild from Strange Tales number 119, written by Stan Lee with art by Dick Ayers. And boy, this is lame. He fights a guy called the Rabble Rouser, a really different supervillain.
Yeah, who rouses rebels. So
yeah.
With the rabble superpower.
Oh man.
Torch is really mad. And they show him in the splash page. He's really
yeah,
because he's been left here because the other
Fantastic Four
members they go off into
like the
vacation or something.
Yeah,
yes,
because he's still in high school or something.
Yeah, so he's off the football team because he's dangerous, and he lost his girlfriend because his girlfriend's going out with this other guy.
Man, Dory Evans, she's so fickle.
Yeah,
she's always
I don't like her.
No.
Yeah. There's some girls you like. Something. She's not a Mary Ann. She's a Ginger.
Yeah. Well, the thing about her is she's still a girl. She doesn't know what she wants, and she's just very wishy-washy. She wants his attention, or this or that. She's not understanding that he's got a lot on his shoulders, being a member of the Fantastic Four, and trying to have a regular life too.
Yeah, and I don't mind her being wishy-washy and all that, but she's mean about it.
She's not mature enough for an adult relationship.
No. Who is?
Yeah, I can't believe we're having this in-depth conversation about Dory Evans, but
the girlfriends are important.
They are. But can you see how this is kind of humorous?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there's the rabble-rouser, and what's his deal? He's some hippie, I guess.
He looks like Stalin, kind of. He's got a big unibrow, so he's evil.
Yeah. He comes across as like kind of a hippie beatnik type, but isn't he really a commie?
Same difference.
What?
Yeah. A lot of hippies and beatniks were commies and vice versa. But, it's not 100%, but there was some crossover.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Spider-Man comes by and Torch. Oh man, just
gets mad.
He gets mad at him.
Because Spider-Man's always taunting him, so.
Yeah, he's trying to be nice, but no. Yeah, but then Torch feels bad he treated Spider-Man bad, but well.
So the rabble-rouser, he's like stirring up negative public sentiment against what, superhero types?
Well, yeah, or just the Torch. So now the Torch cannot. There's kind of law that says he cannot go flaming on.
Right.
So he's got to take the bus. Oh goodness. Oh, but the rabble-rouser has this cool submarine that goes in the ground and all this. And we saw it somewhere else in another Fantastic Four. Oh, subsurface craft.
Oh, right. Okay.
Pretty neat.
Yeah.
Alright, so there's a fight and Torch wins. So, alright, what else can you say?
But the rabble-rouser had this device that allowed him to kind of like manipulate people's minds or whatever. Right. The Torch takes it away and breaks it or whatever.
Yeah, and then we see that, okay, with the subsurface craft's got a jet engine or rocket engine.
Yeah.
And he's going to set off, rabble-rouser traps the Torch, and he's going to set off the exhaust and burn him. So, what's up with that? The Torch is vulnerable to flame?
He shouldn't be. You would think that maybe it's just his own that he's not vulnerable to. I don't have a real answer for that.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of goofy. But it's a comic book.
Yeah. Okay, so our next book we've got to talk about is Strange Adventures number 242. And at this point in this series, it's just Strange Adventures is just a reprint book. And the lead story is reprinted from Mystery in Space number 82. And it's World War on Earth and Ran. Written by Gardner Fox, with art by Carmine Infantino, inked by Murphy Anderson. And, of course, it's our good friend Adam Strange.
Okay.
Yeah. I love the art. I like Adam Strange. I don't find these stories all that super good.
There's this big magnifying glass, and they can't destroy it. And it's destroying buildings and such.
Is it on Ran?
Ran.
Okay.
And Adam Strange is picketed by these goofballs from one of these places. Well, and they're yokels, so they don't know Jack.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I don't remember that part.
But they can't.
Well, yeah, this flying destructo beam or whatever, the flying lens, is destroying a lot of stuff, and so Adam Strange has got to figure out a way to stop it. But
there's the signs say "Earthman, go home."
Like Munsters go home. Yeah.
Right. Yankee go home. Why don't they just make clouds and stop this? They won't. the magnifying glass won't work without light. So if you make a bunch of clouds, you're safe.
That's true. Yeah, all you need is what? Is it silver nitrate? The seed clouds?
Yeah, well, it's in the future. They should know.
It's not really the future. It's another planet.
Well, it's
a futuristic. Right. Okay. So, yeah.
Oh, there's a big battle and he's fighting. La 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 la. So, oh.
I love the art, but yeah, these stories are just kind of poop.
Yeah, I really don't have any notes on this that much, so
let's skip it.
Go back. Yeah. One thing he does, so they go to Earth and he fights, and so he uses the he uses they figured out how to fight against the magnifying glass, and he uses the magnifying glass like a rock and throws it at somebody and wins. The end.
That's pretty weak plot. Yeah, whatever. So we'll move on. I didn't think that was a very good story. So the backup story in this issue is called Lost 100,000 Years. It's from Strange Adventures number 136, and it's written by Gardner Fox with art by Sid Green.
Yeah, all right. This guy invents a solar engine and by solar gene is what it's called.
Okay.
And he's going to try it out the first time, and then these people from the future try to stop him because it will kill everybody if he uses that.
Yeah, like it will starting it up will start up a chain reaction that will cause all these problems later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we know it's the future because all the men are totally bald and the women still have their hair.
Of course, and the men's craniums are expanded as well.
Yeah. But thankfully, the women's are the same, so we don't have to worry about them being too smart. Wouldn't want that, would we?
Oh man.
Yeah. So interesting. I love the old car. It's really well drawn. Yeah. They give us a clue, and they say, "Oh, you know how they fixed itself?" And I didn't get the clue.
Right.
He couldn't drive because his license had expired. How the devil do I know that?
Right. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of a stinker. I mean, I kind of enjoyed the story. He had this cool flying rocket car he was going to try out, but wait, he can't go driving it without his driver's license renewal. What? So.
Yeah.
But anyway, going and renewing it delayed.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that solved anything, too.
I think it was because he started up on that day because of certain conditions or whatever on the Earth that caused the problems. But because he had to delay and to go get his license renewed, so he delayed his experiment, that was enough time, and then it wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of crap. Yep. Now that we talk about it, man, that kind of stinks.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Ooh, but so we've got some great stuff to talk about now. The next book we have is Superboy number 89, and the lead story is Superboy's Big Brother, written by Robert Bernstein with art by George Papp. And this is the first appearance of Mon-El, who would later be a member of the Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah. And we find out how he got his name, too.
Yeah.
It was not. Superboy saves a spaceship, and the guy comes out with reverse colors of Superman's costume, and he has superpowers.
Yeah.
And Superboy looks at his X-ray vision and sees that there is a plaque saying, "With all our love and good wishes, Joel and Laura." So he thinks it's his brother. Oh, yeah.
So he thinks that Mon-El has an older brother, and that he was sent, in a rocket first, and was just trapped in space or something, and didn't land on Earth until now.
Yeah, and he's got superpowers, so it must be from Krypton. So they're trying to figure out a way for him to hide. So this traveling brush salesman comes by. So that gives him an idea. Don't traveling salesmen travel? Don't they go to different places?
Yeah.
And what?
What is the secret identity name they give Mon-El?
Oh, what was it?
It's something really ridiculous.
Okay. Bob Cobb.
That's right, Bob Cobb.
Yeah. And he's wearing a plaid suit, which is great.
Yeah, a little more volume on that jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. So, for some reason, Superboy gets suspicious.
Right.
Because he sees, oh, some of this stuff is metal not found on Krypton. Well, then I wouldn't be a red flag to me. It could be, I don't know, is there space trade and all that stuff?
I don't know, but here's the thing is, it's got to be something. Mm-hmm. Something has to happen, otherwise it can't be just, hey, and he's got a brother now. You know?
Right.
So something has to be amiss or awry. So in this case, that's the MacGuffin. It's this other metal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and so then, oh, let's try Krypton on it. Krypton doesn't do anything to him.
Yeah, so he knows that he's not a Kryptonian. But
Crypto didn't recognize him.
Right. That was also another flag.
I think that's the first flag.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And so, well, we find out. Oh, God. Okay. So.
Man, are you okay?
Superboy is in class as Clark Kent. And he takes his exams, and he gets purposely gets a 90%. So
right.
He doesn't want to be too perfect. So then there's a question about Cinderella. So he goes back in the time, and this is for a class. He goes back in time and meets the first Cinderella. No. And
it was something to do with like ancient Egypt or something, right?
Right.
Yeah. And this was such a weird tangent in the story.
Yeah.
I'm like, does this have anything to do with like the third act, or is this filler?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, he goes and then he comes up with a real answer and writes that on his test to get like a wrong answer.
Yeah. And then the teacher's, well, how do you know this? Uh-oh. How am I going to say that? Duh.
Yeah, what? Why would you... First of all, why does your exam have a question about Cinderella?
Unless it's about... I don't know. You can be doing
literature themes or something?
Yeah. Literature themes or fairy tales, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I did in high school. But okay.
Oh, yeah. This kind of... Oh, and Laura is...
Lana,
excuse me. Good God.
Lana Lang, yeah.
She's doing this ballet stuff on grass. So, I don't know why. But Clark blows a wind and lifts her up. And does she does a great balletic leap.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
So Bob Cobb shows up and makes a play for Lana.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Cobb, a.k.a. Mon-El.
Yeah, so... he likes her, so he's telling her, hey, how about this brush? And, and he looks and sees she's only at 77 cents, so he changes the price to 77 on the brush.
Right.
Which is kind of cool.
And then also the 77 looks like LL for Lana Lang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes Clark mad. That rat, he's trying to take my girl away from me.
Man. So that's rather humorous.
Yeah.
So then Superboy is like, okay, now I've got it in for Mon-El. I've got to expose him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know this guy isn't Kryptonian.
Right.
And so what does he do? He sets up a thing where he paints harmless lead green to make it look like kryptonite.
Right.
And then he creates this kryptonite, or the lead meteor shower, and has it land around Mon-El. And
that kills him.
Yeah, it nearly kills him. But little do we know that Mon-El is a native of Daxam, and he is vulnerable to lead, not kryptonite. And this causes him lead poisoning. And it's not like, okay, you're exposed to kryptonite and you get rid of the kryptonite and then you get better. The lead poisoning continues on. So Superboy, and Mon-El's memory comes back. He remembers who he is and where he's from.
Right.
He's from planet Daxam. And so Superboy has to send him into the Phantom Zone so that he'll live. And then he has to work on a cure for the lead poisoning.
Right, that's pretty cool. One of the great... This is something I wish someone would say to me sometime.
Okay.
Hey, you got superpowers. Stop those crooks. Wouldn't you love to have that said to you? Oh, yeah. Oh, I do. Okay.
I forgot. That would be great. And then, this is great. And Mon-El, of course, is trapped in the Phantom Zone for 1,000 years. Superboy doesn't come up with a cure for lead poisoning for him. And
they solved for the
Legion of Superheroes. Yeah, Brainiac 5 eventually comes up with first a temporary solution so he can come out of the Phantom Zone as their secret weapon for a little while. A serum that'll let them be out for a bit, and then they found a permanent cure. So, but yeah, and he became one of the greatest Legionnaires of ever. So, but yay.
Yeah, okay, but it's pretty cool. It's nice.
It's a fun story. I love all this Silver Age Superman, Superboy stuff. It's great.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yes, it is. And the next story we have, the backup story in this issue, is called The Super Cop of Smallville, written by Jerry Siegel. Yes. And with art by Kurt Swan, and as inked by Stan K. So, yeah.
Yeah, Chief Parker has a birthday party, and then everybody gets measles. So,
yeah.
I don't know how that happens.
But I guess it could.
Alright, and so Superboy has this radio. When it blinks, when it's either the White House, Professor Lang, or Police Chief Parker. And it's kind of... Couldn't they put the UN or something, or I don't know, head of NATO or something? I don't know. Police Chief Parker, man, he's got connections.
Seriously. So while everyone's sick, there's no police force going on in Smallville. So he gives Superboy his hat and says, "You're the law around town until we get better."
Yeah, and so you got this crazy driver who is really reckless, so he just lies down in front of him and he runs him over, and the guy feels really bad about it. Now he's going to drive safely from now on. Still gives him a $50 fine, which is a lot of money back then. It's probably $500 or something.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Okay.
It's probably like a $350 fine, comparatively.
Yeah, he stops... Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
And he stops a dice game by cheating. Yeah. And then he gives the money to the policeman's benevolent fund.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
And he finds a blind beggar who's checking out this babe.
And so he realizes this is a scam. And what does he do?
He makes his quarters super hot.
He rubs it until it gets really hot, and the guy burns his hand on it?
Yeah.
Yow!
You did this, because he says, "You did this, Superboy," but how does he know he's Superboy unless he can see?
Right.
That's pretty clever.
Yep.
And this guy's beating this horse, so he just flies the guy around, and that teaches the guy not to beat his horse.
What does he show him to, not be his horse? Does he scare him?
No, he flies him around, and he's hanging on by the leash, the reins.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, but don't mistreat animals. That's not cool.
Yeah.
So, and something happens with Crypto.
Oh, Crypto sees this dog, and he picks up the asphalt the dog's on and drags it across the state line, or the county line, so the pound can't get him. Have you ever seen the pound? I don't think I've ever seen...
Well, they just call it the animal shelter now.
I know. I've seen the pound, but I've never seen the guy from the pound. The guy,
the dog catcher.
Yeah, the dog catcher. I never have seen that in real life.
Because that used to be a serious job. You were out catching stray dogs every day, and it's just kind of gone away. It's like the milkman. Yeah, but there was a stray dog, and Superboy was going to round it up, and Crypto saved that dog from going to the pound. just kind of funny.
No, Superboy wasn't going to get him. The Pound guy was going to get him. But
whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the next book we've got to talk about, it's more Superboy. It's from Superboy number 125. The lead story is The Bald Boy of Steel, written by Otto Binder, with art by George Papp.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Superboy is going to play Samson and Samson Delilah.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who is Delilah?
Lana Lang. Surprise.
But she can't do it because she feels sick. So this goofball...
she has an understudy.
Cuts the wrong hair. And
breaks the scissors because she forgot that Superboy's hair will break scissors. You can't cut it.
Yeah, so and everyone's laughing at him. So and really, would that destroy the play? But apparently it does. So Superman pulls some elephants around and makes everybody happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
What else?
Let's see.
Oh, so there's like a traveling salesman who tries to sell Clark some hair tonic.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
Clark tosses it away and knows it's junk.
Right. But so there's a satellite going bad from outer space.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, and a Lex Luthor with hair sees an invisible rocket ship.
Right. This is before Lex lost his hair and turned evil.
Mm-hmm. Superboy goes and finds out it's got red kryptonite. Man, everything has red kryptonite.
Hey, red kryptonite is good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good for a growing Superboy. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. So he turns. So
the red kryptonite makes him bald.
Yeah, and he doesn't realize it.
Yeah. Well, and what's he gonna do? Because it's gonna be like at least a day before the effects wear off.
Yeah.
So he's got to come up with a way to like hide the fact that he's bald, and so the rest of the story is him hiding his baldness because people will see a bald Clark and know.
Mm-hmm. And then they say it's a bald Superman. So
yeah,
Superboy cannot be bald. Clark is already known as bald, and apparently there are no hats.
Oh, that's right.
Clark.
Lana sees Clark lose his hair from trying that hair tonic. She thinks that's right. Okay, but if they see Superboy bald, then they'll know, right?
So, yeah. So the Lang household doesn't have any hats, so he's got to wear a. They're going to give him a African mask.
Okay.
Oh, Superboy is kind of he's smart out of cave. Here's an African mask. Oh, sure, I'll be completely inconspicuous.
Right?
Yeah. So he takes the hair off a Superboy robot. Man, I would love a Superboy robot.
Yeah, I love how he just employs these robots that he built to take care of lesser missions or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or be his double so he can keep up the secret identity. So what's his first super feat he's got to do while he's wearing this toupee?
He's putting out this fire, and then his hair burns off.
Oh no!
So he goes into a movie place, but then he makes an Indian wig into a regular wig. And then he's flying. He's testing on a parachute that doesn't work. So he.
Right.
And
then as he falls,
he sees this bird nest that is made from horsehair. So.
Right, but he has to use that to replace the toupee that he made that fell off when he was falling from the.
So Lana Lang finds the tonic. I don't know why she's so. She thinks Clark is Superboy, so she finds a Angora cat and puts the hair tonic
on it. Yeah.
And so hopefully by tomorrow morning. So
she'll find out to see the cat being bald or something.
Yeah, the cat's bald. Then everything's cool. If the cat is not bald, then Superboy became bald for another reason, or Clark became bald for another reason.
Right, and then that would make it
super reason.
Right, right.
So Clark is Superboy is messing around with tigers. I'm not sure why. It's Smallville Zoo. Man, Smallville has everything, don't it?
For such a small town,
yeah,
they do seem to have everything.
And so it knocks it off. So, and then one of the tigers knocks off his hair, and a goat eats it.
Of course.
So to hide himself, Superboy puts his head inside a lion's mouth, and it flies around with the lion grabbed onto his head.
Yeah.
So he sees an Angora cat, a black Angora cat, so uses his hair to make a wig.
He burns off some of the cat's hair with his heat vision and then makes another wig. And so Lana sees that cat without its hair and thinks, oh.
No, she sees another Angora cat, a black Angora cat. Oh, so you lied. And then the other cat comes up, bald. So
he's safe, I guess.
Yay! I enjoyed it. It was super fun.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Right. So the backup.
Oh boy.
What do we get? Oh yes, first of two backup stories in this is Crypto's Super Movie Stunts, written by Otto Binder with art by Al Plastino.
Yeah.
I will just let you go hog wild with this. Oh. Or dog wild.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
So there's a Crypto-sized hole in the pavement, and Superboy blames Crypto for digging up bones.
Right.
So he takes his collar off. So then, here we go. Here is the dog warden. Catches him with a big butterfly net. They always have... I don't know. I probably never use a butterfly net. No,
I can't imagine trying to catch a dog with a net, but that's me.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm not a dog catcher.
So, and here comes this kind of a sleazy movie producer, but then I repeat myself. He sees that he's Crypto.
Mm-hmm.
So he's Dan Diamond. Okay, I thought it was a Diamondo, but near Diamond.
Okay.
So he meets the Great Jowls. Just a great name for a dog.
Right. And of course, Crypto and this dog can communicate with each other. And the Great Jowls is this snooty Hollywood dog.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really mean, nasty.
Oh, he does all these things to stick it to Crypto, like eat his lunch and
He watches his movies and forces Crypto to watch them. We've seen 14 already. Can we have some fun now? Oh, he won't let Crypto swim in his pool, and he eats Crypto's steak. And he puts... Oh, Crypto gets a doghouse. And Giles puts this big smelly fish in there, so all these cats come in there and just freak out at Crypto. Because Crypto, I guess he's not supposed to chase cats because he'll eat them,
Alright.
It's not fair. And Crypto, he does bad things, but
he's a pretty good sport. He's a pretty good dog. So Superman gets involved somehow, right?
Yeah, well,
Superboy, excuse me. So Crypto's gonna be in this movie about like the Wonder Dog, right? He's like the stand-in for Jowls,
right,
to do all the stunts.
So what? So Crypto, he just goes and messes up everything.
Right, and
he obeys his orders to the letter.
Right,
but he knows what's supposed to happen, but.
Yeah, and he basically blowing it for the studio and to get himself and Jowls fired, and Dan Diamond out on the street, basically, right?
Right.
Which is, man, it's kind of like petty to do that, and just like, I'm gonna ruin somebody with my superpowers.
If they played fair, he wouldn't have.
Right.
He won't let him go. So, although, why don't you just run away?
Yeah, you have superpowers. Yeah.
But they have honor.
Yeah.
Besides, they can have fun. Besides, the guy's a sleazeball.
Yeah.
And a stupid dog, too.
That's true.
So they're going up in outer space, and let's see. He sends him in orbit and scares the devil out of the dog, and he's all
out of jowls.
Yeah, jowls. He comes out drunk and scared.
Drunk?
Oh, you get drunk when you're in an airplane, something like that. You can get drunk or just
disoriented. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Not a pleasant drunk.
Oh, right.
So, but I would like to see this movie with have Crypto reading the one ads. I'd watch it. It'd be kind of cool seeing all this goofy stuff.
That is kind of funny. So yeah, the end with that story, and Crypto goes back to Superboy.
Yeah, and Superboy realizes that there's another reason for the hole. There is a great little ad for a model.
Yeah.
The greatest car ever until the Batmobile. It's a 37 Cord. Man, they're gorgeous. But that's cool. So we got another story. Sacrifice a Kid Psycho.
Now this story involves the Legion of Superheroes. So I was intensely interested in this. But yes, it's Superboy and yes, The Sacrifice of Kid Psycho, written by Otto Binder with art again by George Papp. So Kid Psycho, he's come back to Smallville from the 30th century to kind of prove himself to the Legion because they rejected him for some reason. But he sure has great powers and stuff.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
No. He's trying to find Superboy, which is one of the problems with all these superhero things is Marvel deals with more than DC, but the amount of publicity and you could not walk out and you'd be hounded by them.
Totally.
There'd be outside the Baxter Building. There'd be
paparazzi all the time
and movie cameras all the time, or TV cameras, because yes, a lot of stuff happens there. And if you have 3 events in a year, it's worth having a camera there for 365 days.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this the other day. Like, there's so much. Marvel plays up the angle more, but I think neither Marvel or DC really captured like how much of that celebrity obsession that people have would play into a superhero world, as well as how much of the regular real news and world events would be affected by the comings and goings of these characters. So yeah, it's endlessly fascinating to think of that as an alternate reality or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I like about Stephen King books, at least the old ones. I stopped reading them. But he put vampires and all kinds of stuff in the real world, and the real world reacted to it, and that was interesting. It didn't happen in the castle in Transylvania or something.
Right.
I like that interaction and all. I'm not sure how you can do most of that, but
yeah, Salem's Lot, Cyclo the Werewolf, they're contemporary. They're not set in they're not gothic, 1700s kind of stories. You're right.
Yeah. The book Carrie is a Senate investigation.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
Yeah. So yes. So Kid Psycho finds Superboy rather quickly.
Yeah.
Did he steal a time bubble from the Legion? What did he do?
I don't know.
We found another way to come back in time, I guess.
I don't know. Okay. Maybe did it psychically.
I don't know. Can you do that?
I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Psycho goes around solving things with his psychic power. These crooks build a tank with
it's mind over matter stuff. He can move things and all kinds of stuff. He's got all kinds of
and
psychic
he can make
powers,
shields.
Right? Yeah.
Because the tank tries to kill Spider-Man with a Superboy, God almighty, sorry. Same difference.
Yeah. They're almost identical.
Yeah. They got superpowers. They're both young. So.
Okay.
Oh. So he has a big head.
Yeah, and he wears a turban to conceal his large cranium, which I think is funny.
Yeah. So he tells us, here we have an origin story. There's a rock. His parents are astronaut team. They go up and destroy this space creature. There's some kind of atomic radium gun.
Okay.
The radium gun destroys them and makes a constellation of the. It
looks like an octopus.
Yeah,
not quite,
but it's a sectopus because it only has 6 legs.
Yeah. Someone was in a hurry.
So yeah.
To draw it.
They got so they got radiated somehow. So the baby came out with a big head and with superpowers.
Yeah. And he grew up and he's got a big brain, but he breezed through school, and as he reached his teens or whatever, he's like, I want to join the Legion of Superheroes.
Well, he leaves his planet as it blows up.
Oh, right. Forgot about that.
And he wants to join the superheroes, and they say they are rejecting him.
Yeah, and we don't know why, because he's pretty formidable, and nobody really seems to have that kind of psychic powers. You know, Saturn Girl can't do that kind of stuff.
All right. So they go into the future and then get the ask. And so they tell Superboy that the more he uses powers, the more likely he's going to die.
Like, yeah, every time he'll die, like, eventually, like, it shortens his lifespan every time he uses his powers. Like the Thunder Agents. Every time they use their well, some of them, a couple of them actually. Every time they use, because their powers were like generated by like the suit, you know, but you kind of took away part of your life every time you used your superpowers. At least with Dynamo and Lightning, they both kind of had that thing going on. So. Okay.
So they find out about it. I don't know why they didn't tell them before. You know?
Well, we wanted to have a mystery or something.
There's got to be a story.
Right. So Kid Psycho, the Legion, because they'd helped Superboy he had helped Superboy with something. The Legion said, "Okay, we'll make you a reserve member of the Legion, and you can have a flight ring." Yeah. And the reserve member, this is different than being in the substitute Legion. They'll probably call on a reserve member before they call on the subs, because the subs have like impractical superpowers. They're not very good, like Color Kid and Antenna Kid and you know, like that kind of stuff. They don't really do anything useful. Chlorophyll Kid.
That's great.
You know that you've seen the subs before, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I'm remembering them.
Yeah. So yay, everything's hunky dory, and Kid Psycho feels validated and vindicated, and he feels good. He can be of occasional use to the Legion. So he's sort of a Legionnaire now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The end. There's a cool there's a couple of cool things. One, a Jimmy Olsen super spy. There are 5 letters in Jimmy.
How sad.
Yeah.
5
letters in Jimmy, 5 letters in Olsen. Put them together and you have double 5 Olsen. Agent double 5 Olsen.
Oh, that's right. He's going to have it's a Jimmy Olsen where he's going to be like a secret agent or something.
Yeah, he's bolder, brainier, and more boastful than Bond.
Well, that advertisement is.
Yeah.
So.
They're poking fun. You know he's going to be a goofball.
Oh, right. And the following page, there's another house ad. And what's going on? Something with Crypto.
That's not a house ad. Oh, it's the next issue, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The amazing story of Crypto's family tree. There's Zipto, he's got wings. There's Nipto, who is a giant. There's Fipto, who has no powers but the smartest of them all. And then Mom and Pa can't become teenagers. Man, I want to see that.
Yeah, no, that sounds like it'd be a real hoot. Maybe we'll come across that one of these days.
Yeah, teenagers is a 20th century construct. There's no teenagers in 1900. You know, well, there are people who are 18 and 14, but they weren't teenagers.
Right. It's a kind of a mid-century designation. So the last book that we've got to talk about for today is kind of a double-sized special. It's Super DC Giant number 16, and it's the best of the Brave and the Bold, or a couple of good stories from the Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, and Batman's supposed to choose these stories.
Yeah, there's a framing sequence that's throughout this issue. It's written by Bob Haney with art by Dick Dillon, and inked by Mike Esposito. And it's kind of corny because it's breaking the fourth wall. And come on, that's not Batman to do that.
Yeah. Oh, maybe in his goofy stage, but he's angry about it. So
yeah.
And we get winked at by the Flash because the Flash chooses this a story called "The Death of the Flash."
That's right, "The Death of the Flash," which is reprinted from The Brave and the Bold, number 67, and it was written by Bob Haney with art by Carmine Infantino and Charles Paris on inks.
Yeah.
This is a cool story.
There's a sneaker gang. They're stealing stuff, and
the sneaker gang, they have harnessed the power of super speed.
Yeah, with their sneakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really, Batman really messes up a bunch. We were talking about making errors, man.
Yeah.
Batman crashes his car, crashes the Whirly Bat, which is a stupid name.
Oh, I love the Whirly Bat, though. It's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of a dumb name. But yeah, I mean, because here's the thing. Think of all the Batman villains, especially like Silver Age and earlier. Yeah. There's like 2 guys with superpowers that he fights. Clayface and Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just kind of gimmicky and, whatever. As part of his rogues gallery, okay? And I think Blockbuster comes along a little later, and he's got super strength.
Bane.
But that's much later. I'm talking about in like the Silver Age and stuff. So I'm thinking he's making all these goofs because he's getting just kind of outdone by these speedsters. Maybe they're causing him to crash the Batmobile and things. So,
yeah. So the speedsters are stealing. They go to a rare book auction, and they offer $1 for this rare book, which is worth $10,000.
Right.
And they take it, and they take a key to the city, which is absolutely worthless.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen anyone getting the key to the city. I
know.
So, man, but Batman is really messed up. He cannot do anything.
He's blowing it, and he needs help from the Flash.
Yeah.
Who enters this story? We go to Central City, and we see the Flash beating some bad guys, or some robbers or something.
And he's feeling sick. The doctor says, "Never, you can't run again, and you'll die."
Right. Yeah. His powers are kind of acting up, but Batman needs his help, and so he heeds the call, like a true hero.
That's cool. Same thing with Kid Psycho.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you're looking for some thematic parallels. There we go.
So they're trying to find out who's. They're trying to find. Flash comes. He chases them down. Of course, he catches them because he's a Flash.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah. And they catch one guy, and his shoes disintegrate.
Of course.
So we come to these bad guys, the sneaker gang. We find out they're in the Accelerated Gentlemen's Club.
Right. Yeah. As if that wouldn't be a red flag already. But yeah.
So they try to set up. So they find out that Flash is sick. So that now they just trying to kill him now.
Yeah. And, boy, they'll have a heavy rep if they rub out the Flash.
And he's got these midgets.
Yeah, that was a weird thing that seemed to come out of left field.
Yeah, because they look like kids.
Yeah. And, yeah, they use the midgets to kind of, lure, to be like a kid in trouble and lure the Flash out. And, yeah, Flash gets taken out pretty much.
Oh, there's a great line. I think he's asking the doctor, "You've got to be kidding. Medical science doesn't kid."
And you have to think, this is, DC was very much, rooted in the establishment in the Silver Age still, It wasn't until Neil Adams and Danny O'Neill shook things up with Green Lantern, Green Arrow that kind of changed. So it's of course, I'm an authority figure. I'm a doctor. Of course, you must take me at face value, everything. So...
Right. The Flash takes the train to Gotham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I thought was wild.
Yeah. Oh, well. Well, there's radiation on them, which is why
on the shoes of the sneaker gang. Yeah, and this gives them the temporary super speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the Flash chases him, and they capture him, and it seems like he's dead.
Yeah.
Batman follows him. He sprays a bunch of goofy oil down, and they slipping and sliding, and he captures all of them.
Yeah, and he thinks the Flash has died, but whoop! Then he shows up.
Yep. Knocks this guy out, takes off his shoes, and a bum finds him.
Right. So
That's
there's
cool.
stuff. So we do have the framing sequence kind of sets up the next story, but also we've got this great one-page filler showing Batman with a whole bunch of people who have guest starred in The Brave and the Bold with him.
Yeah. Why no Superman?
Because Superman didn't team up with Batman in Brave and the Bold. He teams up with him in World's Finest.
Oh, yeah.
Can you name all of these guest stars? I can.
Yeah, you. No, I cannot. I didn't know Sergeant Rock teamed up with them. What's up with that?
It's happened.
Yeah.
I think I might be a time travel story, but yeah. But we've got Supergirl, the Spectre.
Yeah, I didn't know who this was.
That's Wonder Woman. That's the depowered Wonder Woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Green Arrow.
She's wearing this white outfit with a bobbed haircut.
Oh, right. It was a different time, but I was
Adam Strange and
Starman and Hawkman, Aquaman, Black Canary, Green Lantern,
Wonder Girl.
That's right. Wildcat, Kid Flash, Robin, Metamorpho also in Flash. So yeah. So yes, and then our next story in this book will be just a Metamorpho story, the origin story.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Metamorpho shows picks the.
It's part of that framing sequence. He picks out the story that we're gonna do.
Yeah. All right. So we have the Metamorpho story.
Yeah. And the origin of Metamorpho is a reprint from The Brave and the Bold, number 57, written by Bob Haney with art by Ramona Fraden and inked by Charles Paris. And Ramona Fraden, one of the rare women working in comics at the time. Now there's loads, but in days of yore there was not that many. And she's did fine work on Metamorpho and Aquaman, among other things. So
yeah, okay, cool origin story.
Yeah, Rex Mason, he works for Simon Stagg, and Simon Stagg sends him and sends him to Rex to get this Egyptian artifact or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, we see them coming back. He's coming back from
the Orb of Ra, right?
With shrinking, with the this guy who shrinks heads.
Oh, right.
And he sends out, and he's about 6 inches tall, and people screaming and all this stuff. Then we see his girlfriend driving a car, really cool car.
Oh yeah, Sapphire.
Yeah, his name's Sapphire. The car is.
Of course.
So, Rex Mason, the little figure is actually a wind-up doll, and it's a big joke.
And Rex
Mason,
kind
of mean, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Here these people coming to see you, and then you brush them off.
Yeah, like they're treating him like Captain Bird or something, or Admiral Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, then Rex Mason parachutes out of a jet and lands in Sapphire's car.
Yeah, which is, like, super impossible.
But super great. If you saw this on a television show, you'd think it was awesome.
Yeah, cool car. Nice spins.
So they go back to the old Stag estate or whatever.
Yeah. And Java, is that his name, right?
Yeah, Java the Ape Man.
Yeah. He's jealous. And Stag is mean.
Yeah.
So they decide to fix him.
Simon Stagg is like the evil Richie Rich.
Ooh, yeah.
But Java the Ape Man, he was like a caveman that they thawed out from an ice cube or something.
Right.
And
he's in love with Sapphire.
Right.
So they send him to get this wacky...
the Orb of Ra.
Orb of Ra.
Yeah. From the Egyptian tomb of whatever.
Yeah. And no one knows about this huge pyramid. Well, I guess in the 50s that could be true, but now it's impossible. If there's something like this, it'd be buried or something.
Yeah.
So they crash land there. They go into it. Oh, pretty cool hieroglyphics and such.
Yeah, so Java tries to double-cross Rex and
It
ditch
does a good
him
job of
and
it.
takes the Orb of Ra. But while Rex Mason is trapped in the pyramid, he comes into contact with this mystical what's-this.
Yeah, and there's heat, and he's really hot, and then luckily there's a mirror inside the pyramid.
Right.
And he's this hideous monster.
Right, so he's become the Element Man.
Mm-hmm.
And so any of the elements that are found in the human body, he can become and manipulate and change his shape and do all kinds of stuff with. He could be a gas. He uses calcium and different things a lot.
Yeah, he uses magnesium and he fixes his plane.
Yeah.
Then he comes back and breaks into Stag's house.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, he turns into, what does he turn into?
Like chlorine gas, I think.
Yeah, chlorine gas. No sodium, reacting with water.
Oh, that's right, because chlorine is not found in...
Sapphire. Java punches him and he turns into marble.
Yeah, ouch.
Yeah.
And then turns his fist into cobalt and punches him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Great shot.
Yeah. Yeah. So Stag tries to fix him up after him. I'm not sure why. Okay.
But see, Simon Stagg wants him to be the Element Man because he wants to have this superpowered guy in his employ.
Mm.
And he's got all this money. He's got Metamorpho. He's got the Orb of Ra. He's got Java. He's got a lot of like stuff, and he's into that.
Well, he's trying to figure out how to do that. How to find out how to do it so he can get that power.
Right. Later, Rex turns himself into like this calcium slide and like rescues Sapphire like down out a window or something.
Mm-hmm. And Sapphire still loves him, even though he's ugly.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And Metamorpho, that's a fun series. We've read several other stories.
Yeah, they're not bad. Too bad he's so ugly though. He looks like a mummy in the face.
Yeah. Rex Mason is very much like Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
The characterization is very similar. So.
Yeah, but I won't. If I look like either one of them, would I be happy with all the superpowers? I don't know.
I think Metamorpho, you would essentially be immortal.
Yeah.
So that I could be okay, but yeah.
I don't know.
So that's all our books for this week.
Yeah.
So.
Anything we learned today? I think sacrifice is gonna makes a hero.
Yeah, definitely, and the willingness to definitely put others before yourself is definitely good stuff.
Oh, what do we have for next week?
Oh, here, let's take a look. We're going a little lighter next week, and I think we will from here on out. These shows have been running a little long. But next week we've got some more Spider-Man.
Oh, this is a famous one.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is trapped in this huge mechanical
the final chapter.
Yeah.
It's like the aftermath of this great battle with Doc Ock.
How green was my goblin?
Not your valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
But next week we'll be seeing the reveal of who the Green Goblin really is. Shh, don't tell anyone. It's Norman Osborn.
Okay. Yeah.
And another super DC giant, and it's an all Supergirl special. And this is really fun.
Yeah.
We'll have lots of Lena Thorol and Lex Luthor, and it'll be great. So, yeah, that's...
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so tune in next week, gang. This is Comic Reflections signing off.